I'm back. Matchup number 2 against the newcomer, Type Percy, Ryan. Like the name, Ryan. I know it's one of the most famous fantasy football names. I think the full name is I Shaved My Bush to Reveal My Type Percy. But I'm going to let it slide because I like it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to stop and think about it and see what it truly means to be a Type Percy. But unfortunately for you, your first matchup in Fraggle Rock is against me. ESPN has it as a close match, 122 to 116, with me on the home field. We're going to go into the matchup a little bit. We're going to see if you can stack up to my team. You got a good team. You had one of the best drafts. I'd definitely put you in the top 2 of the drafts. It impressed me. It did. It did. And I'm glad to have you in the league. And I hope you enjoy being in the league. Even though, you know, I get it. Micah won last year and you're like, oh, I'm going to come and do the same thing. You're not. But just remember, 0-1 isn't as bad as what it seems. Okay? Okay. Quarterbacks for these matchups, Phillip Rivers for Gabo, or for Wembley. Still got Gabo on my mind. Wembley. Matt Schaub for Percy. It's going to be a close one. Matt Schaub projected to get 16. So is Rivers, or 18, I'm sorry. They're projected to get 18. It's these damn sunglasses, right? They might look good because, you know, I have to look good for you guys. But they don't really work very well to be able to see the computer screen on this side of me. But, you know, what are you going to do? Phillip Rivers going against Minnesota. Expect a lot of points. He always put up big points last year. He's got VJ the whole entire season. I actually expect him to be the #1 fantasy quarterback this year. 18 sounds a little low to me. I'm saying he's going to go 24 this week. Matt Schaub against Indianapolis. With Arian Foster, a little questionable, to say the least. I definitely, Schaub is going to put up a little bit more than 16. I'm going to say 18 to 20. Still a little edge to Rivers, but Schaub is definitely going to be a high scorer this week, a lot more passing than week 1 last year, where Schaub put up almost like only, 4 or 5 points because Arian Foster went off for 200 yards. It's not going to happen this week, but Schaub is going to have a bigger week. Anyhow, you go into running backs. This is definitely Wembley's strong side. He's got his 3-headed monster in Peterson, Gore, and Rice. Peterson, the most consistent back of any back the last 3 years, the last year. It's just Adrian Peterson. Going against the San Diego defense and a new quarterback. I actually project him to go over 2,000 yards this year. I know that's a really, really bold prediction. But they're going to be pounding the rock a lot more. He's going to get his, barring injury, 2,000 yards for Adrian Peterson. San Diego's defense still very good. So I'm going to give Adrian Peterson a decent number at 14, seeing the end zone 1 time. Maybe 1 turnover because, you know, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold the rock like he did last year. Hopefully he does. Frank Gore against Seattle. Frank Gore shreds Seattle. Give him 18 to 19 points. Look at past matchups. He shreds Seattle. Whether they win or not, who knows, but Frank Gore shreds Seattle. Ray Rice going to have a big year this year. I don't think it's going to be huge in week 1 against Pittsburgh. Give him 10 points with 1 touchdown, 40 yards. Sounds good to me for Ray Rice. Type Percy, Michael Turner, Darren McFadden, and Sean Green. Michael Turner they're still a run team, guys. I know Roddy White, Mike Ryan, everybody thinks that they're a passing team. They're not. They're a running team. Michael Turner will get his points against the Chicago defense, who's typically pretty good against the run. I still only see him getting 12 to 14 points this week. Darren McFadden against Denver. Denver's defense is definitely suspect. McFadden give him 14 to 18 points. Sean Green against the Dallas defense. They like to run the ball. We're going to see how involved he is and how well he runs. I'm still only going to give him 6 or 7 points this week until he shows me something. So Sean Green, a little bit of an off here. Receivers, Tyke Percy with Deshaun Jackson, Percy Harvin. Fraggle Wembley with Santonio Holmes, Mario Manningham. Got to give the slight edge to Percy here. Deshaun Jackson against the St. Louis defense. Like I said in the previous matchup, St. Louis defense, very underrated, very solid defense. Deshaun Jackson definitely fell off towards the end of the year last year. He had a lot of dud performances last year. Even though he finished in the top 10 of receivers, he was a dud many weeks. He just blew up some. I don't think this is going to be a blow up. I don't think it's going to be a dud. I think he's going to be sitting around 8 to 7 points, no touchdowns. Percy Harvin against San Diego. Percy, I love Percy Harvin. I think he's going to get 12 points this week. I definitely think he could be one of the top backs or receivers this year. We'll see how it goes, but give him at least 10 to 12 points this week with one score. On Wembley's side, Santonio Holmes going against Dallas defense. Santonio Holmes looked good in preseason. He's one of those elite receivers that people don't really talk about that much. The man has hands like a vacuum. He gets looked at a lot, especially in the end zone. I give him 12 points this week. Mario Manningham against Washington, give him 7 points. Washington's not that great. If he finds the end zone, definitely 13. I'm going 7 points and no touchdowns. Tight ends, Antonio Gaines, Vernon Davis, two of the most consistent tight ends in the league. Vernon goes as Alex Smith goes, obviously. We're going to see the Braylon Edwards effect with Vernon Davis this year. Hopefully having someone else be able to spread the field is going to take a little bit of pressure off of him. We'll see, but we do know Alex loves Vernon Davis. When Alex is in, Vernon Davis scores high. I expect it to continue to give Vernon Davis 14 points this week against Seattle. Antonio Gates against Minnesota. Antonio Gates is going to get his. He's amazing. It's going to help equalize Phillip Rivers. Hopefully he doesn't get any touchdowns, but he's Antonio Gates, and he will give him 12 points. Packers defense against New Orleans, not crazy about that. Packers defense very good, but you're going against a high-scoring offense. I don't see that many points coming out of it. Give 6 points to the Packers. Patriots against Miami. I am loving. Everybody taking defenses early. I get the New England Patriots, who were, I think, number 1 or 2 or 3 in fantasy defenses last year. And guess what? They're going to do it again because they're underestimated because the teams always have to throw against them. So they're going to get sacks. They're going to get turnovers. That's what you want. And against Miami with what quarterback? Who the fuck knows? It doesn't matter. They're no good. Give me 9 to 12 points for the Patriots defense. Sorry, Ryan. You know all of what I said is true. I don't think it's going to be as close as ESPN says. I say 108 for Wembley. And I'm saying 92 for Tyke Percy. He's going to have a lot better scoring weeks. This one, I just don't see it being. Anyhow, that's week number 2. Ryan 0-1. Wembley 1-0. But you got rest of the season. See you later, man.